Good morning. Good morning, beautiful people. So, I have to deep breath because I'm trying to blow out of my system what I just, well, I guess I'm processing. As I'm blowing it out, I'm processing what I witnessed. Um, there's barely any words. Listen, listen. As a spiritual person with a religious background, um, someone who's battled mental health, and someone who is overly analytical, um, um, listen, I had to. I didn't have to do anything. What am I trying to say? I'm sorry. My words are hard to form because I'm so disappointed and disgusted and just in awe, and not like awesome, which is positive, but awful, which is negative. Too much awe is a bad thing. If you're full of awe, it's more than you can comprehend. It's like in the Bible when God is telling the people that, you can't see me in my full glory, you'll die. Too much awe is painful. Too much awe is not right. The world is sick. We know this. But sometimes I think we forget. Let me speak for myself. Whew, Jesus. Like got me calling on Jesus, and I'm not even a Christian, but sometimes when things disturb your soul so much, you go back to what you know. And my foundation is Pentecostal. I was raised by a Pentecostal. My father's still a Pentecostal bishop, actually. So it's just, sometimes when you are without words, or when you are without comprehension, you just go back to factory reset. Because the truth is that there's power in everything. What am I trying to say? I'm so sorry I'm stalling. So let me just try to make this clear. So as you guys know, I have an investigative mind. And I was on Twitter. And I don't really be on Twitter like that, but I happened to be on Twitter, and I was on this stupid post I saw talking about Hillary Clinton's linked emails. And so first thing, I wake up and I'm just going through the feed real quick, see something about Hillary Clinton's leaked emails, which is so old, but I just decided to go on the rabbit hole anyways. And that rabbit hole led me to I guess some video of her and this other lady that were supposed to be, I don't know, doing like some satanic sacrifice. I didn't actually see that video. I was on the rabbit hole to that video. And instead, I ended up seeing other videos. And it's almost like when something is so just like outside of your understanding, you get stuck. And I hate that. I lit some sage. I had some incense. I prayed this morning because I was like, I'm so mad at myself for allowing myself to accidentally get stuck. It's sometimes when you go on a rabbit hole and you come across things that you didn't think you were going to find, you're just so in awe of how wrong, just nasty, just what is wrong with humanity? What is wrong with us? So I came across some horrifying things, some horrifying videos. I thank God I could have came across videos of hurtful things to children, and I thank God that I did not come across those, because I was in the department of anybody and anything, animals included, could get hurt. Why is there a website like this? Why does this exist? And then it made me so sad because these videos are just countless videos of people in underdeveloped or like countries whose heart chakras are just depleted. And so these people have cartels going on, lots of drug things going on, trafficking. I'm talking about adult trafficking. I think that once I got to the point where I was no longer like, at some point the videos switched from people like drug members getting in trouble, because I'm trying to use not horrific language, but you know, it was the last trouble they were ever going to get in because it was the end of their life, unfortunately. So people in gangs, and not gangs, because that's too American. People in cartels getting in trouble. And I think it was almost like somehow the dark web eased me into it. Sounds so stupid, but somehow it was like, okay, because bad people, I can stand by bad people deserve bad things. Now, I don't think they deserved what they got, but I can stand by bad people deserve bad things. Like if you're doing something bad, you know, like you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. You play bad games, you win bad prizes. So it was kind of easier to swallow. But then it started switching to not members of cartels, but like people that they had gotten on drugs and they couldn't pay their drug bill, I guess. At least that's what it was given. And it just started getting so sad. I mean, it was already sad, but it no longer was like investigative. Like my brain was like, you know, like, oh wow, this is the stuff that's happening in the world. Like, you know it, you hear it, but to see it, and then suddenly just switch from like bad people in bad situations to like sad people in bad situations, and you're just like, oh my God, who didn't love you to help get you off drugs, or what happened? Like, no. And then it's just like people getting in trouble for really no real reason, but oh, you can't pay your drug bill. Well, they're a drug addict. Why would you sell them drugs ever expecting them to be able to pay the bill? They're a drug addict. And so then, of course, they get hurt. Like, duh. I would never sell anything to somebody that I knew couldn't pay me back. So it was so like wrong, because it was like, you set that man up. Like you knew this person was never going to be able to pay that bill, as if you just wanted to have a chance to end their life. And I guess make what they call a snuff film. And it was just like, why would you do that? Thank you. Look, my black cat had to come and clear the space. Thank you, baby. He had to come and be like, whoo, let's... Because like I said, I got my incense going, a sage, and I just, oh, Jesus. Disgusting. And so then from there, when I was like brought back to reality, like stop, was when it switched to women victims. Jesus. Jesus. I have to get that stuff out of my mind. But I'm saying this to say, whew, in the name of Jesus, I'm saying this to say, people, this world is not okay. We know it, but listen to me. It is not okay. This is not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. It is not okay. I can't say it enough how much this is not okay. Not okay. Not okay. Not okay. First of all, if you're in these, you know, first world countries, you need to wake up and literally be like, Lord, thank you for the stability of my country. When my mind isn't right, my heart may not be right, my attitude may not be right. There are countries where your bad attitude, you could show up to work as a woman with a bad attitude and get beat. And women in America, we have bad attitudes. And we don't even know. We hear it, we know, we're told, but we don't know the extent to which a lot of women can't just be emotional the way God made them. They can't be emotional without getting it handed to them. Of course, we know that stuff like this happens in America too. But what I'm trying to say is that those videos, they were from these really just sad countries, and it just made me think the amount of times we hear about it in America, it's happening like 3 times more in these sad countries, and it's just Jesus. Oh God. I don't even like, I mean, first of all, as a spiritual person, I really need to be careful what I take in. My life path 11, a spiritual person. I really need to be careful what I take in, because all day I'm probably going to be all day fucking purifying. I'm about to be in like an all day kind of like burning pieces of bay leaves and all that, trying to clear some of that. First of all, my house is luckily it's clear, but it's clearing it from what I allowed myself to wake up to. But for the world, like I feel like I need to do some work for the world, because it's so sad, it's so nasty, it's disgusting, it's so, listen to me, be careful. If you travel, be careful. Be careful, be careful, be careful. Do not go to some countries to get no BBL. Do not go to some countries to have sex with somebody because they paying you 50 bands. Be careful. People are really out here pooping on women. I didn't see any of those videos this time around, but best believe I've seen some videos like that, because those videos are too easily accessible. You could just be on Twitter and see stuff like that. That's at least, it's not swallowable, but you know what I'm saying? It's manageable. But that is not as bad as gets. People are talking about women getting pooped on in Dubai. There are people getting beat with some canes. They're getting their nails pulled off, all because they couldn't pay a drug bill. Getting their nails pulled off, getting their fingers cut off. They're getting, I want to tell you what I saw, but I feel like that's not right, to injure somebody else's mental space like that. But it was so disheartening and disgusting. I have to say, I have to share it, because I need people to know it's not a game out here. It's not right. And not like that stuff's not right, but what's not right is this world. It's not right. Something's not right. There is literally, people have a messed up mind where they will do things to people. And I know we think, like the way y'all idolize, not y'all, but the way some people idolize Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't even want to touch myself right now. Jesus name, clear that up. Oof. Y'all know my spiritual guardian is Mother Sekhmet, and I'm like, yes, purify my mind, Mother, because this world is disgusting. Listen to me. This video right now is just a rant, and I'm okay with it. I'm gonna rant it out, and it may not make no sense, because whoever comes across this video, hopefully it's because somebody needs to see it. Because you may be some young, impressionable person who just wants to try a drug. You just want to try Molly. Let me tell you something, that it could be the gateway to something really bad. Really bad, really bad, really bad. Yeah, it would be nice if you could just, have a drug problem and then maybe overdose on drugs. Obviously, that's not nice, but what I'm saying, that's the easy way. Some people can't even die by their own drugs. Some people is out here dying by their drug dealer's hands, in the sense that the drug dealer is putting hands on them and instruments and tools. And listen to me, who you think is your friend may not be your friend. Listen to me. If you had a shattered foundation, I thank God for my parents. and my upbringing. If you were raised in a shattered foundation, spend time with yourself and figure out, are you mentally disturbed? Did you have, like, is your father, do you have daddy issues? You have mommy issues? How was your home life? Because listen, I'm gonna just say this. If your home life, when you were born and when you're being raised, if you were the kid that was in and out of foster care, that one's obvious. But listen to me, if your home life, if the way you were raised was effed up in any kind of way, you do not need to be on drugs. Please, listen to me. You don't need to be on drugs. Because your foundation is wrecked. Drugs will not help you. And I know you're like, oh, I need to escape. Well, then somebody needs to give me a better alternative. That's true. I wish the world could provide a better alternative for you. I wish the world would make it more easily accessible for you to get therapy, get help, be around people that actually care about you. Find an actual church where the pastor isn't fucked up or something. Like, you're right. The world needs to provide a safe haven for you. But listen to me. If you can, avoid drugs, avoid your friends that try to put you on drugs, avoid anybody that tries to disturb what is already disturbed. You are not a whole person. If your childhood was fucked up, you are not a whole person. And not like, we all have trauma. So I'm not talking about your basic trauma. I'm talking about if you never experienced the love of your mother, if you never experienced the love of your father adequately, you do not have good judgment. And you could be in a position where you are out in the world doing things that are not good for you. And let me tell you something. Your best bet would be to overdose on your drugs. But unfortunately, that is not happening for everybody. Unfortunately, some people are out here in lines being shot down. Unfortunately, some people are out here just with their hands tied behind their back and being lit on fire. Unfortunately, the world has demonic forces that is possessing people that aren't whole. And if you already have a rocky foundation, you are not whole, which means you are more susceptible to be in the devil's playground. And let me tell you something, the best thing that could happen to you in the devil's playground is that you die by your own hand. And let me tell you something, that may not be the case. You may not be in the devil's playground running shit. You may be in the devil's playground. And you may think, oh, what's the playground? It's not that bad. Let me tell you something. It's the devil's playground until it's the devil's bedroom. It's the devil's playground until it's the devil's house. It's the devil's playground until it's the devil's fucking compound. It's the devil's playground until it's his prison. Playground sounds nice until it changes. It's the devil's playground until it's his torture chambers. Let me tell you something. There are sick people out here already possessed by demonic forces. If you are not a whole person, be honest with yourself. If you are not a whole person, you are easily susceptible to end up in situations where people who are not whole will have some kind of influence on you. And you do not know what the devil, and not like storybook devil, but yes, but no. You do not know what those spirits have planned for you. And if you are not whole and protected, if you won't protect yourself, these devils won't. And God forbid, oh Jesus, God forbid that you are just out there wilding. I'm 30, I'm gonna be 31 here soon. But I, in college, had a good time, but I could see how it was like, oh, this could have got bad. There was parties that I went to, and guys would just give you drinks and drinks and drinks. You know what I'm saying? And you knew it, but because of who I was, I understood when it was like, okay, I'm going to stop here. Okay, I'm not going to take your drink because I know what you're doing. There were girls who weren't my friends, but when you first go to college, you just kind of link up with young ladies and y'all, you're learning freedom. There were girls who I saw them put themselves in predicaments that were not advantageous. And I would see their actual friends encourage them. And you know what? There was this girl code. Like, okay, well, somebody needs to be like the voice of reason just in case things get too crazy. And you don't realize when you're older, why are we putting that responsibility on one peer? Why? But then also, too, why are we doing this in the first place? I don't know what happened to some of those girls, but I'm sure at a lot of those parties, I'm sure some of those girls got rape stories. And because we're not friends, when I woke up from being when I woke up hungover the next day in my dorm room, I didn't have that girl's number to call and check on her. I'm not really her friend. I met her at the party. I met her at the frat party. I'm not her friend, so I can't call and check on her. But I know for a fact some of these girls I don't, had a good time until it stopped being a good time. And that's America. You see how that story is everyday college girl story. Simple, simple, simple. That's a simple story. There are people in Colombia, Miami, Jesus. There are women in other places having stories that are not that average. There are porn stars being hospitalized and dying from overdosing. And that is, again, no disrespect, but that is, again, a nicer way. Obviously not nice. Obviously not wonderful, but a nicer way. Because those same girls, and there's nothing wrong with you wanting to do the kind of work you want to do. Listen to me. Be smart. That's what I'm trying to say. Be wise. Do not take your beautiful behind to some of these countries, because overdosing and going to a hospital in America is completely different from being off in, I don't know, some of these other countries, because you're being paid to have sex there, and it goes left. Or because they know you're a broken girl to an extent, they're going to have fun, and they're going to allow the demonic side of them. They're going to try things on you. And when you start saying, no, this is farther than I wanted to go, oh, well, now you can't leave, because we wanted to be able to punch you in the face and you get paid for it and go back home to America. But now you're crying and and acting like you don't like that we're punching you in the face. And now you're talking about how you might go to the police, or you just, we can't trust that you're not going to tell on us. And so now we got to do something about it. That's what's happening to some people. Listen to me. Be careful. Oh my God, please be careful. I can't. Thank you, God, first of all. Because when I started seeing women in these disgusting videos, that's when it started being like, Christian, stop it. And I was like, what am I doing? Because you get stuck. When you can't fathom something, well, maybe not everybody, but if you are an investigative mind like myself, and somebody who is intuitive and tries to understand, you get stuck. And when you can't understand something, if you're an intuitive mind, you'll get stuck. And that's why anybody, if you see something that's so disgusting to you, you still watch it. You'll still be stuck looking at it because you can't process it. So be careful, because when I tell you I thank God that when I got to that point, when kept seeing women, I was just like, something's wrong. And I snapped out of it and I was like, stop it. Because I knew I didn't know, but I could assume what was going to come next. And I knew it was something I could not handle seeing happening to a woman. And Jesus. I saw people die. in a video. But there are people in the hood that see people die in their face. I'm not even talking about war because duh. I'm talking about in your neighborhood. People in America, there are people right now that see people die in their face. I am discombobulated by what I saw on a video. If I'm discombobulated from what I saw in the video, imagine the young men in these gangs that see it all the time. Let me say something. Let me say this. I snapped out of it and I had to literally start purifying my space to cleanse out the energy that I started to or almost could have let in. Stuff like that will take away your humanity. Seeing something like that takes a piece of your humanity because it reminds you, when you see stuff like that, what you're seeing is a reminder of how some of these humans do not have souls. And if they don't have a soul, or if their soul is possessed by an entity that is not humane, you will witness something that is not appropriate for human nature. And when you witness, and I'm not talking about death, I'm talking about murder, killing. I'm not talking about dying. I'm talking about inflicting death purposefully on somebody from a malicious place. That is not humane. It is not human. It is not humanistic. It is not something humanity. It's not human nature. And listen to me. All of those crash out dummies in the hood and in KKK groups and in all kind of places, Nazis, all those people that are, if they're raised into it, if you're born into those communities, they are born losing their soul, losing their humanity. And let me tell you something. There are people in this world that have lost their humanity and they shop at your grocery store. Yes, those gang members that are crash dummies, the shooters that are crash dummies in American neighborhoods shop at grocery stores. If they're not robbing the grocery store, they shop at your grocery store and they walk around America freely. And that is level 1, level 2, level 3. In these other countries, level 10 is happening. And let me tell you something. You need to fortify your humanity. You need to fortify your soul, your body. And I'm not even telling you how to fortify yourself because you are your own person. And you know if you protect yourself or not. You know if you can handle certain things or not. You know if you have the upbringing and stability to be able to protect yourself in that room or not. Some of you are being invited to Diddy's parties and you know you cannot handle a Diddy party. Like Janelle Monáe could handle a Diddy party. Right? Some of you can't. Some of you can't. And that's nothing. I mean, well, for Cassie, obviously, it was something. But what I'm trying to say is understand who you are. Because you need to know who you are in order to know where you can and cannot go, where you should and should not be, what is good and what is bad for you. You need to be of strong mind, heart, body, and soul to be doing certain things. And if you did not get the love of your mother or the love of your father, listen to me, if you did not get the love of your mother, you should not be allowing yourself to go to certain rooms. And if you did not get the love of your father, you should not be allowing yourself to go to certain rooms. It is dangerous. And don't just, when I say dangerous, I know your brain is picturing danger like the literal word. No, 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 no. I'm not talking about a word. I'm talking about a real life action. Dangerous is a word. I'm talking about you can literally get stabbed in your eye. Thank God I didn't see a video like that today. But I mean, what I did see was not better. I'm trying to avoid saying what I actually saw. Be careful. It's disgusting out here. Fortify yourself. Do not be in the devil's playground when you don't know how to play the devil's games. Because when you end up in the devil's torture room, it's too late. For some of y'all, the devil's playground is already too late. For some of y'all, the devil's house is too late. For some of y'all, the devil's bedroom is too late. Listen to me. Some of you need to some of you need to fucking stay away from the playground. And if you didn't get the love of your mother especially, get the fuck out of there. Get the fuck out of there. If your mother did not love you, you need to be really careful about some of the taboos you do, because you cannot handle it. And if you can handle it, when those taboos start amping it up, amp it up, you may not be able to handle what's coming next. And I just really don't want some people, well, any people. I really do not want you to be in a position you can't handle, because about 3 things could happen here. If you are somebody that is in a place you are not prepared for, you could 1, die, or you could 2, be put in a position where you now have to negotiate your safety. Or 3, you may not die and you may not be in a position where you are negotiating, but you'll be captured. I'm sure there's other options out here, but listen to me. Maybe the best out of those would be death, because then you could at least start over. You could reincarnate and start over and try to get it right. But if you're in a position where you have to negotiate, you met the wrong guy, and your mom didn't teach you love because she didn't love you. And so now you don't know how to love yourself. You met the wrong guy or girl, but let's be honest. You met the wrong guy, because at this point we're getting into territory where more than likely it's a man. But you know what? Actually, let's play devil's advocate. Let's say this. You met the wrong woman. Whether you're a guy or a girl, you met the wrong woman. And she is Satan's little assistant. And you are having fun, and everything's all fun and dandy. Yay. You meet the wrong woman. And that woman introduces you to a lifestyle that is more than you can handle, but she's gentle about it. She's kind about it. She's nice about it. And she's handling the bulk of it for you, so you don't realize how bad it is, even though you see it's kind of bad. But one day, she asks you to handle it. Now, if you can already picture a scenario like this, and you can fill in what I'm not saying, because this scenario, I'm keeping it broad on purpose, because it could be anything. If you already have a story that you can start putting it into, then you've already gotten to this doorway, and either you turned around or you went in and you got to the negotiation and you made a good negotiation, and hopefully you were able to get out. Or you're in there now. You're in that room now. You're in a position now where you're with this woman who made you feel like you could trust her. And you were introduced to things that were beyond what you understood, but it didn't seem so bad because she was there and handling the bulk of it anyways. whatever it is. She was the one actually selling the drugs. She was the one actually sleeping with the guys. She was the one actually dancing on the pole, whatever. And I don't think sleeping with guys, dancing on poles is bad. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't think selling drugs is bad, because Big Pharma sells drugs and I take antidepressants. So I think it can be bad. But point is you, who am I kidding? Selling drugs is bad unless it's like holistic healing. Anyways, point is that whatever the scenario is, you're trusting her and she's doing it. You're just there witnessing it. Suddenly, she needs you to help her out. And so now you are working with her, right? You're working with her. And then, of course, the next stage is she's working a little bit less and you're working more, right? Now you're doing most of the work. And you've been built up for this. You've seen it. You've participated. And now you're doing more of it. And now she's just, on the back end or whatever. At what point is she going to come to you and be like, hey, I need you to do this? No, it's not, I want you to, it's not even a want, I need you to. It's not, hey, do you want to do this for some money? Hey, do you want to do that for some, now it's, I need you to. And she can say, hey, I need you to do this nicely. Hey, Stephanie. So Bob called and he wants this, that. And so, hey, so I said that I'll, you can go do that for him, okay? I need you to do that so that we can get the 20 bands. Oh, okay. Well, what am I doing for John? Oh, he, like it's 20 bands. That's good money. Yeah. So he just wants me to sleep with him? Yeah, but John can be a little rough. So, he might be into kinky stuff, but it'll be fun. Oh, okay. That's not a problem until the kinky ain't something you kinky about. You know what I'm saying? It sounds so simple until you're in France. It sounds so simple until you're in France with John. And John invites 3 of his friends. And they all want to punch you in the face and pee on you. And pay you $20 and you get to go home. It's all fun, but not fun. It's all fine and simple until you're in another country with John. He invites 3 of his friends. And they're doing things you don't necessarily agree with. And because you've known John, you say something. You say, John, ow, that hurt. I don't like that. Don't do that. But it's not just John. It's John and 3 of his friends. And they all want to punch you in your face and give you black eyes. And nobody's wearing a mask. So now, what are we going to do? Because she didn't like that we punched her? Is she going to tell on us? Is she going to tell on us, John? This is what John's friends are asking him. Is she going to tell on us that we punched her in the face? I know what y'all are thinking. Rarely does it get to that point. Yes. For Americans. For American women, rarely does it get to that point. I'm telling you this right now. It happens for a lot of other women, a lot more than you would think. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Just because you're American does not mean you can't accidentally walk in the wrong room at the right time. So yeah, the chances and possibility is low, but it can. And y'all need to be careful, because what seems like a fairy tale to us is real life every day for some women. I gotta get off this video. Dear God, Mother Sekhmet, please. Please. Purify our minds and our hearts. Give us strength and guidance. Stability. Strong mind. Strong heart. Strong soul. And anything that tries to hurt us, give us the wisdom to see it before it's happening, as it's happening, and to do the right thing, to safely extract ourselves from that situation. And God, anybody with a heart that dark, let karma have its motherfucking way. Okay? Okay.